then I had glasses. I got rid of the glasses. I had a third child. You got rid of your Audi T-shirt.
Yes. Oh, there it is. Look.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
And
At
you
least
had
we
like
can see it.
you also had like kind of a new.
Maybe we turn it around.
Yeah, you can't see it, but in the live stream maybe you can see it. But yeah, okay, you got rid of your Audi T-shirt, but you had like a new baby as well, right?
That's true. Actually, two: a startup and a real baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what makes more work?
Oh, the real baby.
The real.
The real baby. I tell you, at night.
Yeah, I can tell you. Look at my eye bags. This project, this new startup, we will talking about your baby later with a coffee. The startup. Oh, we are supposed to sit down.
Okay.
I'm told, and make it ourselves cozy. Okay, that's nice. Make it cozy. Old man sitting down. It's a holoride experience. Can you talk about what a holoride experience is?
Yeah, sure. I think it perfectly connects to the presentation that David just has given. He was talking about the metaverse, and I'd like to add one aspect, because everyone is talking about the real world and the digital world. Actually, what the metaverse represents best is literally the colliding of those two worlds and forming a new one. You could think about it as like a supernova. The physical world collides with a digital world and creates a completely new world. Mm-hmm. And as David pointed out, it's all about the experiences. It's not so much about the technology. We always talk about AR and VR, but it's about what people are really feel and experience in the moment. And this is what we try to tackle with holoride. I used to work for Audi, and back in 2015, we were thinking about the time that people spend in cars, and how that cars are a very cozy place. Very often they're referred to as like the third place, like a living room, especially if you look at the modern concept cars, especially if you think about autonomous vehicles. And people are there in this comfort. They move around the world. And how do they spend their time in those cars? Not as drivers, but as passengers. And car companies in the past always looked at the car buyer or maybe the driver, but not so much, they didn't care much about the passenger in the past. And then when everyone was thinking about autonomous cars, which will still take a while until they hit the road, but everyone was saying, oh, there is a passenger economy coming. One day we'll all be passengers. If you look at the stats today, we already have this passenger economy, and we have it exactly in the target group that is maybe currently most intrigued by the metaverse, because it's coming from the gaming world. So it's teenagers, Generation Z, Generation Alpha. They don't think about screens so much. They now live in those worlds. So the next computing platform, as David pointed out, won't be screens. It will be literally spatial computing.
So it's going to be VR.
Correct. So VR, so AR, no more, mixed reality. So however you call it.
So no more kids in the back that like whining. When are we there? It's going to be. Can we do a little bit longer?
And this is where our journey took us. We said, okay, how do people spend time in cars? Actually, already today, 400 billion hours per year are spent in cars as passenger, not as driver. It's a massive amount of time. And then we said, okay, how can the car and the location and the fact that it's traveling through the world, how can this contribute to a better experience? And we started to take car data, so motion data, how the car moves, how it accelerates, how it brakes, how it steers, the whole pose of the car and where it's traveling, and merged this back then in 2015, I think it was the first or already the second developer kit of Oculus that came out, merged this with a virtual experience. So we had a gaming computer in the trunk, a wired headset, a lot of chewing gum and duct tape, and you could put on your goggles and play a little space shooter game. And
while driving.
While being a passenger, while being driven. And what we have done is the vehicle localization software that we have built synchronized the movement of the virtual experience with the movement of the real car in the real world.
So no more motion sickness?
Hopefully not. At the beginning, I have to say there was a lot of latency, so people got motion sick, and we said, we bring VR into cars. Everyone said, you guys are crazy. People are getting motion sick in cars, and they get VR sick, and now you're combining this. But not sometimes, always minus times a minus equals plus, and that's the case. Very often, we can reduce the effects of motion sickness. We can't cure them, but we can reduce them for people that maybe suffer motion sickness in cars, because you synchronize the motion of the vehicle that they're feeling to what they're seeing in the experience. And yeah, we started building prototypes. We tested this back in 2016, back in 2017 with a lot of gaming studios and movie studios in the US. And then was the biggest step. In 2018, we convinced the board of management of Audi to spin this out into a separate company, entrepreneurial company. So my two co-founders also used to work with Audi. So the three of us started the journey founding this company. Audi is only a minority shareholder because the idea was build a platform for immersive in-car experiences. So location and motion-aware content in cars that can be used by every car manufacturer out there, and not create the content ourselves, but open up to the community and create an SDK so that every game studio, every movie studio can start building content for cars. We take care about the standardization of everything. They use our SDK that is a plugin, by the way, to a standard game engine like Unity, and just create something that can be played out via our platform in the car.
So when will this come to life, to the consumer experience?
Yeah, so we started in 2015, so we already have a 6-year journey as Holoride, as a separate company now, 2.5 years, and it will come to market next summer. So the first Holoride-ready vehicles will hit the road next year.
But they're here.
They're here already, because talking about experiences is like the worst thing you can do. You have to experience experiences, and that's why we brought 2 cars outside the theater for you to try. It's a first prototype of a game that we'll launch next year. It's a first playable demo done by a game studio in the US, Shell Games. They're a great indie studio. They've created, if you're into VR, they've created I Expect You to Die and Until You Fall, very good selling titles on the Oculus platform. And they have created this Cloudbreaker game for us. It's a holoride original. And if you're interested, you can book your slots. You can jump
at the front desk.
At the front desk, jump into one of the electric cars out there, Audi e-trons, and drive around the block and play a game. The content, that's the beauty, adapts to where and how you're driving, so the game will be different every time you take a ride.
Wow.
This is, in terms of replayability, also a big thing for the community in general.
So everybody go to the front desk, book your slot, and try this new experience out. Nils, thank you for being here, and I hope you will have fun and no motion sickness, to be honest.
Yeah, it's all about fun. So
it's all about fun.
And the
so
great
have fun
in the car.
In the holoride. Nils, thank you for being here.
Thank you.